Hello and welcome to day 35 of 365 days of gaming. We are back in the Facebook game room and we're looking at the because you played. So right now it's saying because you played Halloween City, which we did yesterday. Hope everyone had a nice Halloween or All Hallows Eve. Today is November 1st. It is, well, another special holiday and multiple cultures and all of the names of which escape me right now. There's the Day of the Dead, the Dios de Muertos, and I said that wrong. And it's Samhain, and I said that one wrong. But we're gonna go up over here. It says Monsters and Dragons, which just sounds like a good time to me. Reminisce of Dungeons and Dragons, and we'll see. So far, a lot of the Facebook games are really disappointing. Their graphics suck. And I'm eating Skittles. Mr. Mad left his sour Skittles on the desk, so if you hear me chomping away, it's because I'm sneaking his Skittles while he's playing with the kitty cat. I'm not that good playing with the kitty cat. He's actually playing with our fur baby. If he was playing with my kitty cat, I wouldn't be talking to you people. This is really slow to load. We may have to give up on this one. Kind of stuck. Let's see if we can restart this. Sometimes hitting refresh makes things load quicker. I'm clicking, nothing's happening. Alright, we're going home. We're not playing Monsters and Dungeons, which I was excited. That looked like a good game. See, I kind of like scope it out ahead of time, so you're not sitting here watching me go la da 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 with my thumb up my butt. I think we need to play Pony Princess. My Little Pony is this really popular thing with kids, but it was a really popular thing in the 80s that just like made a comeback. Maybe it's just our computer today doesn't want to let us play any games, because this one, I'm going to reload, is also kind of wigging out. Well, home again we go. It is not our game. I think this happened another time where I played like 3 different Facebook games, because I thought you people needed longer videos. You don't. No one's even watching me. Bubble Cocoa. Okay, this looks entertaining. Sometimes I'm picking these games just because their titles entertain me. Huh. Alright. I really, really, really want the emulator to go, but I don't want the emulator set up and playing on the keyboard. I want the emulator set up and playing with one of the control paddles we have. But Mr. Band is a big doofus and he hasn't done it for me yet. Okay, seriously? This one's not loading either. Uh-oh. I just did an update to the Facebook or Game Room Arcade thing. It said, you need an update. And I said, okay. Evidently, that was a poor life choice, because now nothing is loading. But then I'm also playing crappy games, I think. Ooh, Solitaire? Mr. Mad, should I play Solitaire? He's saying yes. So, if you haven't heard it in the videos before, this one time Mr. Mad goes to fix my computer, and he's looking through my stuff or whatever, I don't know what, or we're on the phone and I'm looking at Solitaire. Anyway, it came out that I had played how many games, Mr. Mad? Alright, it was over 30,000 games of Solitaire on one computer that I had had for like less than 5 years. I don't even know. Hand me that thing there, that phone there. Hand me the phone, Mr. Mad. Oh, no, his phone's right here. I'm going to use a calculator. I'm going to do the math while you stare at a blank screen. I'm going to do the math of what 30,000 games of Solitaire. 30,000 divided by 365 is 82 divided by Let's divide it by 5. Let's say I had the computer for 5 years. That is still 16 games of solitaire a day. I have this thing where I like to, or I used to, I can't anymore because the new Windows all suck, where I would just sit and play solitaire for hours on end while listening to music. Oh, right. Aces go up there. Anyway, it was highly amusing. This is interesting because the solitaire is normally solitaire at the top has the right when you play on a Windows solitaire and when you deal it yourself, normally, hey, I wanted to move that card. Normally the aces all line up at the top. I wonder how many people who are listening have actually played solitaire on their own. Because I have, because I used to love playing solitaire, and actually my grandma used to play solitaire. Before you could play solitaire on a computer, I knew how to play solitaire, and I set up solitaire by myself with cards. And I actually still do it sometimes when I'm really, like, it can be very therapeutic to shuffle cards and physically deal them out. But, now, the upside is the new Windows, was it Windows 10? I have this like super fancy version of solitaire. We have like daily challenges and there's different kinds of card games you work your way through. I think it was 2 months in a row that I got absolutely perfect. And then I stopped going on the computer for like a month and we decided to give up on that challenge. But it was that was the beginning of this year actually. Oh, really? This is kind of boring. Boring! I don't know why you're still watching, really. It's because of my colorful personality, isn't it? It's because I'm so pretty. Like you would know if I was pretty. This is the #1 reason why we're not on Steam. Steam? Did I say the right thing? Twitch. I knew I was saying something. I'm like, that's not right. What am I talking about? Twitch. Jesus. That's why we're not on Twitch, because I ain't that pretty. Plus, I fear the trolls. Not the trolls! Although I like when you can double click and it like takes them all. This one doesn't seem to want to do that. Or I can't figure out the shorthand to do it. Oh my goodness. Oh, there we go. Hey! Did you guys hear that squeak? That is Mr. Mad torturing the kitty cat. Win draw 3 without undo for 3 stars. Oh. Hey, wait, I played this game. No. Mr. Mad, did I play a video with this game already? He doesn't know. I think that, it's letting me play October even though it's November, and yet... Oh yeah, let's go back a couple days. Oh, I think we were playing the other one by it, and it let me do that. Draw one card or draw three? Let's up the ante. Let's draw three at a time. Seriously, the only reason you people are still watching this is because you must think that I'm hilarious. Which, I mean, I am hilarious, but really, I don't get the appeal of watching, I actually don't like to watch gaming videos. I find them very hard to follow. I just like watching some of the people. Some of them are funny. So then, if I get, like, Mr. Mad watches hosts, and they're, like, rude or belligerent or just, like, ignorant, and I'm like, I can't, he thinks they're funny. Like, no, I don't want to watch this. No, I don't want to hear it either. You gotta mute it. It's like when he puts Trump on. I'm like, no, I don't need to hear Trump. We're up here in Canada, like, why should we care? Because we're not American and the world does not revolve around the States. But at the same time, we care because it troubles us. It troubles us greatly if the United States ends up with a president who is, not good. So, I mean, we all have our own opinions on whether we want Clinton or whether we want Trump, but it's funny because it doesn't actually apply to us and we shouldn't care as much as we do, but we have to care because the states are like right there. And unfortunately, they affect us. I went through that like 3 times missing that 8. I don't know where the undo button is on this one. So that's why I did that. So Mr. Mad's in the background going, excuse me, because he's afraid I'm going to say something bad about the person that he thinks America should vote for. Which I won't tell you, because if the other person wins, depending on which side you're voting for, I feel the repercussions. But we do have a few American friends that we worry about. And they worry about us. I wonder what... Oh, that's shares. How do I get a new game? Oh, there's the undo. See? You always have to scroll down. Alright. Let's have a new game. Let's draw 3. These FRVR ones, they don't quite fit the screen. I'm waiting for Mr. Mad to start shouting in the background all about his candidate, but he's smart enough not to do that. I couldn't get him to vote for Canada. He didn't know anything about Canadian politics when we went and voted. I educated him quite quickly on that one. If you don't know about Canadian politics, it's a little different than it is in the States. They can't, like in the States, they spend like a year campaigning to get people to follow them. You can't do that here. There's rules of how far in advance you can like start talking about it, and it's like way less money that people can donate to your campaign here. And I think in the States, Mr. Mad, do you actually vote for the president in the States? When they vote for the president, they vote directly for the president? Or are they voting for like a state representative who then... But when they vote for the... Yeah, see, he says both. Here, we vote for our member of parliament or member of provincial parliament. MPs or MPPs. Not the military police, but MPs are also military police here. I'm going back to one card draw. I can't play cards and talk politics at the same time. But see, I could do like 20 things at once if I'm just mindlessly clicking the solitaire game. This is why I had 30,000 games. So I reset a lot of them. But anyway, here we vote for our MP and our MPPs. And then, so if 20% of the seats in Canada of the parliament houses go, I think it's the MP houses, MP seats, go to the Green Party, and 30% go to the Liberal, and 40% go to the Conservatives, and 10% goes to some other guy. And then whoever has the most, whoever is the pre-selected leader of that party, becomes prime minister. We don't actually vote in any way, and we don't pick we don't get to pick the candidates. The party does, which I think in the U.S. the party picks the candidate, but I still feel like you guys have a bit more say in who your actual person is. So it's kind of interesting because there's a push here to go for something called proportional representation, which is where if we would still elect our MPs, but if 20% of the votes went to the Green Party and there's no Green Party MPs, there would be a bunch of seats that would be divided up to offset that, so that if the 20% of the population that voted for the Green Party would actually be represented in the House of Commons, which is what we call what do Americans call it? Congress. You guys call it Congress, we call it our House of Commons. We're very British that way. We have a prime minister like them. And Canada is actually part, a lot of people, even in Canada, don't know that we're actually not independent. I dated an idiot once who was pissed off that we didn't get to celebrate Independence Day in Canada. And I was like, first off, we have Canada Day, which used to be called Dominion Day, and which is July 1st. And that's because July 1st is when Canada became its own dominion. But we're actually not independent. We're still part of the British Commonwealth. We have a Governor General who is mainly a figurehead. It's why the royals always come and visit Canada. When they come to North America and they visit Canada just for kicks all the time. Because we're actually part of, we're not part of Great Britain, but we're part of the British Commonwealth. So we're actually if Britain went to war or we went to war, we're not just allies. There's actual stuff that goes along with that. So it's kind of interesting. We have a Governor General who everything that our MPs and our Prime Minister put through, I was going to say through Congress, and it is not Congress, put through the House of Commons and that they vote on. Excuse me. Ooh, made me squeaky. Squeaky sneezes. We call the cat Squeakers because he squeaks all the time. He was a stray and we think there's something wrong with him. But anyway, it actually has to be approved by our Governor General, who I believe is appointed by the Prime Minister and then seconded by the Queen. So the Queen doesn't ever actually have much to do with us. But a few years ago there was a thing, because all the parties got together when Stephen Harper was Prime Minister, and they were like, Stephen Harper shouldn't be Prime Minister. And how he got elected a second time, a lot of us don't know. And we think it's because too many people were like, nah, he's not going to get elected. I don't have to vote. And then he did, and we were all like, dude, what happened? And so we went, and the next time we did not vote for him. But they tried to get the Governor General to basically put a no confidence into the government, because I think it's a he now, but before it was a she. They can do that. They can just be like, Canada, your government sucks. Here, have a new one. It's more complicated than that, but everything has to be approved by that person. So it's interesting. But yeah, and our Prime Minister doesn't have as much sway, I think, as they seem to in the United States. Maybe that's just because we see media and film, and we see the United States ordering, attacks on other, and we're just more laid back. We're nice over here, unlike some countries that I'd like to reference, but I won't. And not all Americans are mean. I have some very, very nice American friends. Although, to be quite honest, the few American friends that I do have are like, California. Everybody's laid back there. And quite a few of them have spent time in Canada. So they appreciate, they think the same way we do. Um, Actually, one of my best American friends is actually a Canadian who lives in the United States, who moved there as a teenager. Her parents relocated. She still can't figure it out. She's actually what we call a caper. And caper as in not like the little fish things that you put on sandwiches and stuff. A caper is someone from Cape Breton. And so the caper who lives in America, it's always good for a laugh. It's like my other friend who was a half caper, half Jewish. One of her parents was from Cape Breton, and Scottish background and Irish background and very Cape Breton-y, and the other one was her dad's whole family is Jewish, and it's at first it kind of made me laugh. I mean, it's wrong to laugh, but it's a little funny when you know how primarily different the stereotypes about each are. But they're all just stereotypes. I tend to say a lot of mean things for being a Canadian, particularly about the Americans. I've had some bad experiences with Americans. We won't really get into it. I could tell you some stories, but I won't. I'll just sit here sing-songing. Oh, this video is like 20 minutes long, and all I've been doing is playing solitaire and talking politics. Anyway, I think the American election is on Tuesday. November 8th. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's in a week or two. It's November 1st, so it's in a week. I worry. And then we hear all these people who are like, when so-and-so gets into office, we're coming to Canada. I'm like, we don't want you, sweetie. I mean, we're sorry that things turned out this way, but y'all elected them. Y'all gotta... You made your bed, you lie in it, as my mother likes to tell me. Mostly she tells me that when I ask her when I get my refund for Mr. Mad and when I can have a new one. She says, you made your bed, you lie in it. Like, wow, that's not fair. I don't make my bed. Evidently that's what my grandmother used to say, although she never said it to me. Apparently she just said it to my mother, which makes a lot of sense. Mr. Mad, in the background, I'm hearing a squeaky cat, which means you're torturing him. Let the kitty be. He's squeaking his discontent. Our cat doesn't really meow. In the middle of the night he might meow, but it's a really high pitched like meow, meow. And not for nothing. I got up this morning and I fed him and I watered him, I did everything. I go lay back down. Meow, meow. He just was bored. Apparently. It was like 7 in the morning. And I had gone to bed at 5. So this morning there was me laying on the couch with like this, we have this stick with like a feather bouncy ball toy thing on the end that the cat chases. He never really chases it. He kind of just like paws at it and might roll over trying to catch it. But this morning I was actually like flinging it back and forth because he was jumping after it and chasing it. And I was just like, oh my god, I'm so tired. At one point in time I had it just in my feet. I just kept hitting it with my foot. I was so tired. The cat just wouldn't stop. But anyway, our cat, actually can't meow. He was a stray. And I've talked to some people, and I've talked to a few people who are big cat owners who have said, like, yeah, when I had a stray, they squeaked. I think he got hurt before we got him. He actually had a tattoo. He was somebody's pet at one point because he has the ear tattoo. But they couldn't figure out who it was. When we adopted him, we're kind of like, but does that mean he's not going to be our kitty? At one point, can they take him home? They're like, you adopted him. He's yours. Alright, I keep saying last game, but I promise this is the last game. Um, Mr. Mad and I kept talking about getting a cat. We got permission from the landlord, which was exciting. Apparently he was just like, yeah, everybody in this building has a cat. I'm like, oh, okay. Didn't think we could have any. Because we live in an apartment building. And we don't talk to our neighbors, so we don't know that they have pets. No one has dogs. Dogs aren't allowed. And we had seen this cat and we'd walked by one of the malls that we go to has like an actual storefront that's a cat adoption center. It's actually really cool because they get you. You know, there's always people walking in and out, and it's connected to the the pet shelter, and they have bunnies and other like little animals like that. They don't have dogs, but they have those other kind of animals that are there, and you can just walk in and adopt it rather than going to the shelter that's way out far away. So we went into this. We popped in, and there was this orange tabby cat laying there, and he looked. I can't even describe the look on his face. So depressed, like he had given up on life, and like he just wanted to die. And all we could think was, "Oh my God, that's our cat." Because we'd gone in a lot, but we hadn't really pushed getting a cat or a dog. Because we were like, well, do we want a cat? Do we want a dog? Decided we are not dog people. But, you know, what do we want? And I wanted an older cat in different colors. So we looked this guy back up online. And I called. And, you know, we were here. We saw this cat. We want him. And we go back. And in between, in like the 3 days between when we saw him, got permission, and went back to buy him, they put a discount on him. People donate money, and then they reduce the adoption price for pets that are like really hard to find a home for. So he had a discount price, and I had to like tell the person, I was like, that's not why we want him. We saw him a few days ago. We want this cat. And but he just like, he very expressly said like he can't be in a house with any other pets because they tried and he did not get along well with other cats. I don't really know what he did. I think he was just afraid of them, but he was very skittish. Very skittish. He still is very skittish. Part of that is Mr. Mad keeps asserting his dominance, and he doesn't realize that that's what he's doing. Like, Mr. Mad, you are not a tiny little person. He's a very big man. And you're a man. So, when you do certain things, you think your kitty's being adorable, but really kitty is, like, submitting to you because he's afraid of you. But anyway, so we have this cat. We've had him for 2 months now. Mr. Mad? It is. I think actually, I'm going to look it up. I think tomorrow might be our little kitty cat's birthday. A very merry unbirthday to you. Okay, apparently I cannot open the calendar on Mr. Mad's phone. I see. I see. Why is this calendar like this? He puts weird... Alright, I'll look it up later. But that's kind of exciting that we've had Kitty for 2 months. It's taken 2 months. He finally... Well, here's the thing. He finally is, like, getting along with us. And then Mr. Mad pulled a jerk move the other day. And then Kitty got all skittish again. And I was very upset about it. But he actually, this week, for the first time, he actually will actually jump up on the couch that I'm sitting on, and he won't come over and cuddle with me, but he'll sit there. And from the beginning, he was a good cat. He let us pick him up and cuddle him. I got scratched once. Mr. Mad got scratched twice. I got scratched once on day 1 because I was holding him, and he was scared, and I kept holding him, and Mr. Mad came thundering around the corner, and the cat freaked out. Mr. Mad doesn't step so heavy now. And Mr. Mad got himself scratched because he decided the cat needed a bath, which he did not. So, that was his fault. but he lets us bathe, and he doesn't scratch us normally when we bathe him. But Mr. Mad doesn't know how to do it properly. And he's pretty good. He doesn't hiss either, although I think sometimes he's hissing, but he doesn't have the vocal capacity for it, so he just kind of making a little noise. But he's a good kitty cat. His name is Data, which is why our Facebook that we play Facebook games for you lovely people is Data, because we named him after the cat, because he looks like Data's cat Spot from Star Trek TNG. We did not call him Spot because he did not feel like a Spot. We also played, he's an orange tabby, so we played Star Trek for him. We played the Thomas O'Malley song from Aristocats. Mr. Mad, what other clips did we play for the kitty cat? We played a lot of cat movie clips, especially ones of orange tabbies, and found the ones that he responded the most to. Although Mr. Mad decided a week later he should be called Geordie. And he also likes his ears rubbed, so sometimes I call him Quark, and I give him, Mr. Mad, what's that ear thing called? Oo-mox. I forgot. Oo-mox. The kitty likes oo-mox. So, half hour of Trump talk, Clinton talk, Canadian politics education, and all about my kitty. Maybe if you're lucky one day I'll tell you about my real kitty. Day 35 of 365 days of gaming. Like and subscribe. Send us a message. Tell us a game we should play. Any game. I'll take it. I'll try it. Follow us on Twitter. Madhouse, MMO, 2 Ds, 2 Ms. The kitty cat is done and I am done. Peace out and vote responsibly.